As of the making of this video, we are living through an AI craze. Artificial intelligence is appearing literally everywhere, including my PDF viewer. Hey, do you want to summarize this document? No, I am one of the few people who can still read, thank you very much. Oh, you did a Google search. Do you want to turn on AI mode? What? No. Hey, thanks for installing Windows 11. Here's Copilot, your personal AI assistant. No, wait, I don't wanna. Oh, hey, let's open up MS Paint, the simplest frigging Windows program. Oh, hi, do you want to generate an image with AI? Hold on, I got some messages on WhatsApp. Well, say hello to Meta AI, which will summarize chat messages and generate stickers for you. What? Firefox? Oh no, not you too. Oh god, AI slop is absolutely everywhere. Wait, what's that? AI games on YouTube? What am I still doing on this freaking platform? No, grandma, that video of Kamala Harris castrating Christians is not real. Oh my god, it's all AI. Everything is AI, everything is generative, nothing is real anymore. Meanwhile, these AI and AI adjacent companies have formed into an Ouroboros, investing into each other, driving up each other's stock prices, generating demand for chips, computation, storage, RAM, more RAM, and even more friggin' RAM, all to create, maintain and grow large language models, or AI as they call it. A hypercognitive super meta-intelligence intimately familiar with every data point ever collected by humans, providing us answers to all the difficult questions in life, like how to treat appendicitis at home. Here are some home remedies that may help you with abdominal pain caused by appendicitis. Mint, vegetable juices, high fiber diet, Jesus Christ. Or how it's normal to have cockroaches inside your penis. Absolutely, it's totally normal too. Usually over the course of a year, 5 to 10 cockroaches will crawl into your penis hole while you are asleep. This is how they got the name cockroach. Yeah, you won't notice a thing. The future is here. Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, Jensen Huang, and a living barrel of ketamine, among others.
Very nicely. I think Colombia wants to get to the bottom of the problem. They've acted very well. And there are other institutions too that are acting.
All major players in the AI tech boom. What are they trying to achieve with all this? Especially since their whole business model is loss-making. AI companies are burning through literal mountains of cash. And there is a reason why they are doing so. That reason being Silicon Valley tech overlords wanting to bring back feudalism. Wait, what? Allow me to explain. In the 9th century AD, there lived a man named Rollo, a Viking war leader. He was the first to capture territories from Francia, today's France, and hold them. He even laid siege to Paris once. What a Chad. When King Charles III realized that he cannot remove Rollo from Francia, he instead decided to make a deal with him. You can have your land, he said, but you pledge allegiance to me, convert to Christianity, and you help beat back other Viking raiders. Rollo accepted, thus becoming the first ruler of Normandy, besides the king anyway. But Rollo wasn't just a good military leader. He also had a compulsive need for control and stability. He wanted to build a Normandy that would stand the test of time in a turbulent age. But how? Rulers can be deposed, and even if his rule is impervious, what if his descendants' rule won't be? Everyone under them wants to be king after all. At any given moment, there are dozens, if not hundreds of knives glinting in the dark, all aimed at Rollo's back. Is it possible to build a system where the king is untouchable by nature? And so Rollo looked at his agreement with Charles III. Rollo controlled land in exchange for his loyalty and military service. And this worked great. He wouldn't think of rebelling because that would be against his best interest. After all, he liked being the ruler of Normandy and Charles was more powerful. So picking a fight really couldn't possibly achieve anything apart from Rollo being defeated and deposed. Stability was thus maintained between Rollo and Charles III. And so Rollo had an idea. What if he took this system and applied it to the people below him? And what if those people did the same thing to the people below them? If it works between Charles and me, Rollo thought, why wouldn't it work between me and my nobles? Or my nobles and the people under them? Turns out it did work. Really, very, extremely well. Here's how. Just like how Charles gave a bit of his kingdom to Rollo, namely Normandy, Rollo gave out small bits of Normandy to his nobles below him. In exchange, the nobles pledged allegiance to Rollo and provided services to Rollo, like taxes and armies. Those nobles in turn also gave out their own bits of land among lords beneath them, or knights, also in exchange for allegiance, troops, troops, taxes, and so on. Knights profited from their lands and in exchange provided crops, troops, and taxes to the nobility. The nobility thus profited from all the lands they gave out and in exchange provided troops, crops, and taxes to Rollo. The end result was an extremely stable hierarchy where everyone benefited in some way and nobody alone was strong enough to depose those above, thus cementing Rollo's rule permanently. This made Normandy one of the most stable regions in the era. Quite the achievement. And this system came to be known as feudalism, invented by Rollo by accident through his compulsive need for control and stability. Okay, great, but how is this connected to AI? Well, at the bottom of the feudal hierarchy, there are the peasants. They work the land, they pay taxes, and in exchange they get to keep part of their produce and are provided with basic services, like housing and security. In this system, peasants are essentially powerless. They are a mere revenue source for those above, while owning next to nothing. Oh, you worked hard to produce crops on this piece of land? Congratulations! Now, part of it goes to the Lord, and part of it to the church. Here, have 6 other taxes in addition to that. Oh, and if you want to use the Lord's mill to process the crops you grew, you have to pay a usage fee. Sorry, the land isn't yours. Be glad we let you use it, peasant. In this system, peasants didn't own much of anything. Nothing important, anyway. They used someone else's property, land, to ensure their own existence and survival, for which they had to pay the owners. And peasants couldn't just say, you know what, I'll go get my own land instead, where nobody will tax me. I'll work it on my own and sell my own produce directly. A bunch of us peasants can even band together and provide our own housing and security, thus cutting out the Lord and the church and all their unfair taxation without representation. Sounds great, but that didn't work. Because in Europe, basically all the workable land already belonged to the ruling classes. Everything was staked out, everything was carved up between the rich and the powerful. So peasants were stuck at the bottom. Their only realistic option was to work someone else's land to survive, while the ruling class was profiteering off them. But of course, feudalism was later abolished and replaced by a system where commoners could own land. It's a long story. The Black Plague, rising wealthy commoners, professional armies, industry, and so on. The point is, today, even if you are not a noble, you can still own land and other assets, work them, and sell your products and services directly. You are no longer tied to an aristocrat above you who owns everything you use. So, imagine having to work with a computer to make a salary, but the programs on it which you need are not yours. You can't just buy the program and own it. You can only rent it for a monthly fee. Imagine that. And this is exactly what Silicon Valley retards like Altman, Zuckerberg, and Mr. Ketamine are doing.
Do a mission. You're just trying to get data out of the thing. Yeah,
You know that joke about my computer on Windows becoming this PC? Yeah, it's sort of like that. In the digital economy, data, programs, and computation are the new land. You need them for life and work, with all the complex systems in our modern lives depending on them. But the problem, in air quotes, is that regular people, commoners, still own a lot of proverbial land. If you own a computer, that computer is yours. You can do things with it without having to pay fees. If you own a program, game, or movie on some sort of data storage device, it is yours. You don't need to pay fees to use them. But what if it was different? What if your movies, games, and programs were not yours but stored on someone else's computer and you would need to pay a monthly fee to access them? How about Microsoft Office? Remember when you could just buy a license and then you owned the full package with all features? Well, now it's a subscription. You don't own Microsoft Office. You pay rent for the right to use it. You don't own copies of movies or series. You pay rent for the right to watch them. And we see something like this starting with gaming, where you don't own the game, you pay rent so you can play it, on someone else's computer even. In such a system, you don't own anything. You are merely using someone else's property for a monthly fee. And this is the same reason why AI is being pushed so hard into all aspects of our lives. Silicon Valley overlords want AI everywhere to be an irreplaceable part of our lives so they can start charging everyone for it. What, you thought the AI companies are eating billions in losses out of charity? No, it's a strategy. Infiltrate every corner of our lives, become irreplaceable, then hike your prices and profit. And in a world dependent on AI and other online services, users have nowhere else to go. What, you're going to host your own large language model? Build your own server park? Write your own games and programs? No, you'll fall in line because it's easier. In a world where, pardon me for the old meme, you will own nothing and be happy. Though I'm not sure about the latter. So basically, pushing AI everywhere is just another way of of getting you to use someone else's property instead of yours and pay fees for it. A brave new era of techno-feudalism. This is what the Silicon Valley nobility wants. This is the ultimate goal. And so far, it looks like they're getting it. So how can we avoid this? The short answer: state-run tech is a public option. Have publicly controlled open source alternatives to Silicon Valley services. If you want to host data, you can rent space and computational capacity from a democratically elected government, guaranteeing independence from Silicon Valley. Or, if we want to get real spicy, we nationalize all data centers above a certain size while mandating that data of citizens has to be stored and processed locally, so no moving your servers to Panama or something to avoid regulations. Mass storage and processing of data should be a public affair, just like how train tracks are owned by the state in most Western countries. Yep, that's right, it's a train example. Welcome to the channel. The trains running on them may be private, but they pay for track usage and a democratically elected government gets to police them. And I want the same for tech. I don't want tech companies to own the proverbial land. I want a democratic state in charge. Oh my god, would you just give your data to the government like that? I am so sorry to tell you, but your data is already there, dude. What do you think those Silicon Valley ghouls were doing at Trump's inauguration? Also, what do you think Doge was for? It seems like Elon Musk was the only one stupid enough to believe that it was about efficiency and not just scraping your data to feed into AI and Palantir.
In another video taken that night, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt stops by to chat, but Elon ignores her, captivated by his spoons.
So tech companies will just surrender your data to the government anyway. Your data will end up there no matter what. So in my mind, our best bet is to have a rules-based democratic government which operates an apolitical office overseeing data centers while cutting out unelected Silicon Valley nobility from the equation. And no, we the people grassroots open source BS will not work. Look at Mastodon or Linux. Right. LibreOffice though, pretty good. Embrace Slavoj Žižekian democratic centralization theory, because the alternative is a new era of feudalism, but this time also with AI-generated slop. Tons of it. Thank you for watching. If you like my content, please consider becoming a patron or a member here on YouTube. And I'll be seeing you next time.